Hi friends, this is Aubrey from Crybaby Sentimental Homestead, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the biggest prep I have ever purchased. Oh goodness. I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, but I really do feel like it was a good investment. Emergency sirens going on, and this is why I'm prepping, because of emergency situations that might arise. And I hope that nothing ever really does. I definitely tend to feel like something will happen within my lifetime. So it was time to just bite the bullet and actually do something about it. So I was watching, and I have my favorites that I like to watch on YouTube as well. I was watching Alaska Prepper, and I also like to watch Homestead Tessie, who they both talk about solar energy a lot. I have been interested in solar energy since I was a child. With my calculator, I remember covering up the solar panel and then uncovering it and covering it and uncovering it and doing little experiments to see, how long it would work until it started to kind of fade in the background if you didn't give it solar. So it's kind of interesting. So I remember that, and then as a young adult I started getting into like just using the solar lights around my property, and I've been doing that for decades now. So those are really low budget, solar. And I've often thought of like, you could take a handful, like a little vase or something, or a bucket, and just fill them with the solar lights, stick them out in the sunlight, and then when it gets dark, bring them inside, and then you have some lighting. So, and then, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are independently wealthy who this isn't a big deal for. But for somebody who is not independently wealthy, finally purchasing a solar generator and a couple solar panels was a really big deal for me, which is why I'm making a video about it. So thank you, Alaska Prepper, for sharing those codes online. I did use it, and I did save about $600. I think $200 was their promo that they had off, and then I also used the promo code and I saved another $400. So I saved $600 today when I purchased the unit. And I will have to do a video follow-up to show you how I use it with different appliances to see, what does it really run. I decided to go with that brand. It's like Oopsie or something like that. I'll leave that in the comments and in the description with the links to Alaska Prepper's video and links to the manufacturer. So there's a video too. When you go to the manufacturer's website and you scroll down to the bottom, there's a video where the gentleman tests it out. It's another YouTube video as well, and it shows, like the guy tests it out and sees like how much does it really run. And on the 2400 unit, it really does consistently run 2400 watts. So that was good to know. He tried it at a little bit higher, and it would run for a minute or two, and then it would stop. So 2400 is the max on the wattage. So I got it when all said and done. When I went through, I actually chose the 2400 watts with 2 solar panels included. And if you don't add the solar panels, you don't get the solar panels. So you just get the actual generator without any solar units. And apparently you can charge the generator from your home or from your vehicle, like your battery, as well as with solar. What I thought was really cool about the price tag, so it was just over $2,000, and that wiped out my savings. That was it. That was big. That was a really huge investment. But my mother had given me a gift of a couple $1,000s, so I decided to go ahead and invest it in something that she would approve of and something that my grandmother would have approved of, because it was like a inheritance. So I did get that solar unit, and then when it arrives in like 3 to 5 days, I'll definitely start charging it up. I'm going to see how it works, and so forth, and I'll let you guys know, because I'm a newbie when it comes to solar. Really newbie. So I'll let you know what I think about it. I thought about going with a smaller unit with a smaller wattage, even more portable, lighter weight. Apparently this is going to weigh about 48 to 50 pounds, something like that. So it is something that's like more heavy duty, and 2400 watts is I think a good number. From what I've researched, let me know in the comments below if you think I did not go high enough. But my thought was, if I went with a smaller, I'm a cheapskate. Okay, guys, I'm very frugal to the point of a fault. Like, I'd buy the cheap item that breaks faster, over buying the new unit, the new things, the bigger, better product, because I figure, okay, well, if that lasts 3 years and this breaks in 1, but it costs a tenth of the price, then I'm still saving a lot, right? So this time I decided, going solar, trying to do some solar units, I wanted to go with something that was really going to be a good product. So I hope I made a good investment. If not, I'm going to be really, 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 really sad. So I thought about trying to go with something smaller to begin with. Kind of just see, is this something I want to put my eggs into this, put my, pennies into this, because it's a lot. It was two grand. And I'm not a monetized channel. I'm like not even 10% of the way there, which means I probably will never be there, because your how much time you've accrued, it has to be within the last couple of years. And for some of it, it's like 90 days or whatever. So I'm not going to break even on this one, but I think that it was a wise investment. So if you're wealthy, I would definitely do it. If you're not, then maybe kind of stay tuned and see how it goes with me. I'm going to try it out, and I'll be very honest. I'm not getting paid for anything on anything right now. So I can afford to be brutally honest about whatever I try, right? Because I'm not going to get any incentive whatsoever. So I did the 2400 watts, and I did the 2 solar panels. After watching the video, it says like basically there's an outlet to charge. There's 2, so you can do 2 at a time. So you can actually have both panels in charging simultaneously. And the gentleman said that it was his belief that you definitely can, and he had like some gadgets to measure it. You could definitely have it charging at the same time you're using it, which I think is really big, because if you were off grid or even just camping or something for fun, you would want it to be charging during the daytime, but maybe you want to at the same time have, I'm gonna date myself, a boombox playing your favorite music at the same time, or maybe you have it charging your cell phones and things like that while you have music playing and you have the solar panels going. So I just wanted to see if that, that's gonna work. I also want to do some experiments to see what exactly it can handle. And a lot of times I buy appliances without knowing what watt it runs off of. I really haven't been into that physics and engineering side of, the gadgets I get. I usually look to see, the price of it and whether or not I think it's a good product. I don't really look at how many watts it runs, except for when I buy light bulbs. So this is new territory, and if you have any suggestions, recommendations, I definitely recommend that you make a comment below. As long as you keep it nice, don't be too sassy or snarky. Part of prepping, is sharing your journey and sharing, what goes well, the mistakes you make along the way, because the mistakes you make can be very expensive. Right now, it would be literally an expensive mistake to make. But if something really happens, if, shtf scenarios happen, if you go to pull out your generator and it doesn't work the way you thought it would work, or you thought it had more gusto and power than it really does, or it takes longer for it to charge on your solar panels than you thought it would, and you live in a place like Washington where, it's not super bright and sunny especially in the fall and winter time. That would be another thing to look at. I'll do videos later on that as well, because our summer days are nice and hot, and I wouldn't say nice and hot. They're hot and they're long in the summertime. But in the fall and winter, our days are very short. So I will definitely have to do some, like videos later to see, is solar even worth it in a state like this in the fall and winter, which is definitely a time when you would want to be using a generator. You would want to be able to power like little heaters or something. So I don't know. We're going to see. Cross my fingers I just didn't waste $2,000. I mentioned before that I'm getting a property that's about 5 acres, but it will basically be off grid because as far as I know, I can't build on it. And I tried reaching out to the county, and they were very vague. They wanted me to pay all the permitting fees just to find out, like, if anybody applied for a permit in the past, were they denied it? What was the circumstance? They won't even answer the question. They don't even give you an email address to ask the question. They basically want you to pay the fee in order to ask basic general questions. I kind of feel like just finding out where they are located and just show up and ask them in person, because it was super frustrating. I asked somebody in a different department, hey, can I get the email address for the licensing and permitting department? And they're like, oh, no, I don't have that, which is not true. They basically want you to pay the permits and fees just to know, and they could probably tell me without putting it through if the answer was definitely no, and then maybe I could save some money that way. But my idea was, if they say absolutely not, you can't build on this property, which is what I believe is the case, but I'm crossing my fingers because it's built near a lake, but it's a man-made lake, so I don't think that they should be able to qualify it as wetlands or whatever, because it is artificial. It was man-made, and it's stocked with fish. It's not like a natural setting. It looks natural, but it was engineered by people. So I definitely am going to do some videos when we start to work on that property, and I really hope to bring this solar power generator with us and kind of see, like, what can it do for us, and how can it make doing off-grid experiences possible. I definitely think that if you are just starting to prep, that finding ways to use your preps is really important in order for it to be something that you continue to do, because otherwise it can just be a money pit, sinkhole, where you put all this money into it, and then even gadgets that you buy that are very expensive, eventually, even if you don't use it, they're eventually not going to work anymore. So it's a good idea to use them, and in some cases, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's and if there's a small issue and you're using it, you'll notice it, you can deal with it. But if you don't, and many years go by, like if something was starting to corrode, then you could end up with an item that never worked for you, and you never tried it out, and you never got any use out of it. So just like when you have rotations for your food, you should have rotations for your batteries. Like even your small gadget appliance batteries, you should have a rotation on it. Even things like glues and paints and other things that you would think, oh, I bought it once, I don't really have to buy it again. You might go to open it up and it might have had a crack or something, or not been sealed properly, and you have nothing basically, so, or something has completely corroded. So God bless you guys. I hope that you are doing your due diligence to do what you can, and if you have any suggestions for me on the use of solar energy, I would love to see those comments below. And forgive me for being a newbie and sharing on this, but I do think that there's value in that. I know I've learned a lot by watching other people, and it's really not my forte when it goes into solar energy. I know a lot about the science of it, the science of energy, but not in the actual usage of the products and the items, which is like being book smart versus street smart. I don't know. It's not quite street smart. It's like, you know, you have this basic knowledge of something, but not actually know how to use it. It's like, oh, you're going to buy a fishing pole, but you never cast a line. So I want to make sure that I actually try these things out and that I actually know how to use them, and that I don't let them go to waste in the interim. That there's many uses for these things to be, you know, utilized. Like, I like to watch Homestead Tessie, which the reason I watch her is because she's a sweetheart. And I know every time I hear all these people just being negative and lots of fear and, you know, just in daily life very critical, I pop her onto YouTube on my TV, and it's like, ah, a sweet person. I like that, and I hope I can kind of be that for some of you as well. Is that just having some people who are real life, kind, understanding, not judgmental, not critical, be a critical thinker, but not be a critical person, right? So I'm gonna let you know how this whole solar energy thing goes. You know, if all you can do is buy a few little solar lights, then do that. At least you'll have lighting. I will tell you that I do also collect candles and all that kinds of stuff. I did some candle making when I was in my early 20s. I stopped doing that because it was very expensive. It was a very expensive hobby. So I know how to do those things. I just chose not to because I don't have those frugal locations like Homestead Tessie does. She has some sources for her wax and things that are very economical. Where I live in Washington State, things are a lot more expensive. I do have some hacks that kind of cut that down, but even with my hacks, the prices just are not the same here. So anyway, I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit under 20 minutes. So God bless you all. Stay thrifty and make sure that when you're doing preps that there are things that you know how to use. Like with garden seeds, don't just prep a bunch of garden seeds like those emergency vaults, which I have opened them up and I'm like, what is this? This is no bueno, no good. So like you'll have like 10 seeds in a pack, and like when it comes to like corn, 10 seeds of corn, they won't even pollinate. So I mean, I cracked open my seed vault and I was like, oh good grief, this is not good. I'd rather go onto My Gardener or Baker Creek and fill up my cart with the things that I like, but they have a high seed count, high germination rate, and then make my own seed vault, which I'll definitely do some videos of. Everybody, God bless you. Let me know what you think about solar energy and your solar generators. Did I make a big mistake? Please tell me I didn't make a big mistake. God bless you all. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.